Hi guys, it's Carissa, and I am unexpectedly taking the afternoon off because I ran out of some materials and I don't know when UPS will get here. That's what's tough is UPS can show up anywhere from noon to quarter to 8 at night. So I decided to take a shower and I was going to make a video. I might still. But I thought maybe I would film while I was getting ready because it's been a really long time since I've done that. And the last time I did that was sometime last week, and I was definitely not in the mood or in the mindset to be making a video because I had started off the video talking about how I'm doing just fine, and then it just devolved into me crumbling into this strange, terrible mood, and I was actually laughing by the end at how miserable I was sounding, and then I thought I seemed crazy because I was laughing at myself for being miserable. So I scrapped that. Sorry, there's not going to be like a B-roll footage of that one going out anytime soon. Also, I looked like Mad Madam Mim because I had just gone out in the windiest weather and my hair was a mess. So I scrapped that, and I think some of the same topics can be covered in this video, but I certainly am feeling a little bit better. So for real, I'm feeling better. I'm struggling a little with my background here. I don't care all that much about my background. I would prefer, obviously, that there not be trash bags or, you know, who knows what in the background. Sometimes I see things and I think, you should have paid attention. From where I'm sitting, I can't see it as well as I can once I'm editing or once I'm watching a video back. So I get a little frustrated. Like right now, I know I probably should have moved those dishes, and I should probably address this right here. And I'm sorry about that. I really think it's a little bit of an eyesore, but I don't have a better place for it right now. Anywhere in my home, I don't have a better place for it. That is our television. And it was acting up for a while and shutting off on its own, and I ended up purchasing Mike a new TV for Christmas. But I didn't have anywhere to hide it, so, I mean, I could have hidden it at my sister's house, but she only had her garage and her crawl space. Both sound like bad places to hide electronics to me. Like they could be kind of damp and unpredictable, I guess. So I thought, just give it to him now. So last week I wrapped the TV and I played Christmas music and I burned a Christmas tree candle and I gave it to him early. And maybe I'm a little paranoid, but I don't like the idea of selling a TV on Craigslist because I feel like that just announces the fact that you purchased a new one, and people usually upgrade. They don't usually get something that's worse than what they had before, I suppose. Plus, I'm not sure if anyone would want it because there's something strange wrong. I don't know. So I set it up here with the Wii because we haven't used the Wii in a really long time, which is right there. And now I can play old Nintendo games on it on occasion and watch Netflix or things like that. Having it turn off on me, say, while I'm working during the day is not nearly as frustrating as it was, you know, if we were watching a movie or something together at night, and Mike would like to unwind and not get stressed out more by the act of relaxing. So I don't really mind that being an issue. So how you guys doing? I hope you guys are well. I hope everybody's doing well. I have been pretty busy and just kind of drowning myself in work, and then, you know, I don't have like a banging social life or anything, but the time does seem to find a way of filling itself, doesn't it? So I've been just keeping really busy, which is good. In case you haven't watched my last couple of videos or you don't follow my other channel, I do have a video explanation on my other channel, and I'll always have that linked below if I mention it in the box below the video. But I am currently waiting still for my HCG to drop, and I feel like I'm sort of in limbo. Like I can't really effectively live my life until I'm past this. And I know that sounds really stupid, because it's like, just, I mean, it doesn't impact me that much. Maybe in just my eating habits, because I'm a lot more prone to eat emotionally. I come from a long line of emotional eaters. And, you know, that's always been a struggle for me. But I've been doing fairly well with that lately. I've been kind of dialing back on some of that. I was kind of, I don't know. It's hard because when I was trying to eat well and stay keto really well, even just lazy keto felt like it was too much work for me for a while. It was hard because, you know, going through all the emotions, I felt like the only thing that I had to comfort me was gone. And food only does so much, but it's better than nothing. And I don't like the idea of forming a really bad sleeping habit all the time. So I would allow myself, you know, we had ice cream a couple of times. I didn't go nuts. We had pizza a few times. I guess I wasn't as bad as I could have been, but I certainly wasn't good. And it just felt like that's all I had. I mean, I even tried to sort of immerse myself in movies and TV shows. I took a little bit of time off of work, and I would just kind of rest on the couch and try and drink my water and stay off social media and just relax. I was trying to really be good to myself and my mental health. And, you know, I felt like it was impossible to find a movie where there wasn't a major storyline that involved a pregnancy of some kind. And it even included the TV shows I had been watching. I went to the movies by myself a couple of times during the day. I saw Trainwreck, which I'm not saying that I'm not an Amy Schumer fan, but it's not something that I necessarily would have seen on my own, but it was the best looking thing at the time in the theater, and it had been there for a while by then. And I thought, oh, a comedy would be good, but of course there's a main storyline about pregnancy, and it's hard because, and then you certainly can't Google movies where no one gets pregnant, because then, first of all, Children of Men comes up, because yes, I tried it, and second, it's just not a healthy mindset. And then at home, I remember I was like, oh, here's a good one, Private Parts. I had never seen it. I'm not, you know, I don't really listen to Howard Stern anymore, but I used to a lot when he was on regular terrestrial radio. So I thought, oh, I've never seen that, and it seems to be a pretty well-respected movie. I'll watch that. And then I don't know. I thought it was going to just be like the Shock Jock origin story, but turns out there's a main story that's a love story about him and his wife and their attempts to start a family. And I just kept feeling like I was being punished by trying to do other things, like nothing was working out. I mean, not to make it sound like I was just sitting around feeling sorry for myself, but I needed that was when I was really in the thick of it, when we didn't really know what was going on, but we knew things weren't good. You know, that's, for healthcare professionals who are in the field, I know they get callous to it, but to the people who are going through it, days feel like weeks, and it's really hard. So, I had a lot of downtime that was not pleasant, and I feel like I'm getting to be on the other side of that, but yesterday was what felt like my 100th blood draw, and they called me and they said, your HCG is still 5, so I have to keep waiting. I'm hoping next week it's 0, and if it's not, the week after that, I just have to keep saying, okay, one more week. But I have been struggling a little bit with the idea of the holidays and seeing family and just small talk and just being around other people. I have social anxiety badly enough as it is, and I know that I'm going to have a hard time with that. I think that saying it sounds silly, but then when I get there, when I get to that day, it's going to feel a little hard to breathe that day. And I know that's just, I feel that way every year, unfortunately. But this year, I don't know. I've been trying to be careful about not unnecessarily shopping, so I've done well with that. I haven't really been, I can't think of cosmetics I've purchased recently. Although I will probably break that dry spell for the Gwen Stefani palette. I just feel like I need it. And I know I don't, but I am looking forward to that. It looks beautiful. And I was almost exclusively shopping at thrift stores for a while, and I've been feeling really crummy lately, and I think a lot of it is that a lot of my clothes just feel old and don't feel like they fit me well. I have gained about 10 pounds and it feels like 20. My pants fit. I'm not great, but they fit. They're not to the point where they're uncomfortable, but all of my shirts feel too short and I just feel exposed. I feel like my big terrible stomach is exposed. So I did do a little bit of shopping. That's the video that I have coming up, and I figure that will help a lot with feeling anxiety, or I guess at least if I just feel like I'm not as frumpy as maybe I've been looking. I don't know. It's hard. But you guys know I've talked before about how a lot of people would say, well, why do you care so much about what you look like if you don't like to be looked at? But that's the point. It really takes the edge off to feel like, okay, I've done my hair, I've done my makeup, and I feel like I look nice, but don't look at me. This has been my favorite palette to use lately, but I dropped it and now it won't close. In fact, that's the other problem. If I try to force it closed, the magnetic clasp hangs on for a second, but then it flings. See, it flings open, and even if I think I have a good grasp on it, I don't know why I keep trying to close it that way, but then it will flip, and I've caught it a few times, which ended up resulting in fingernail gouges in the shadow colors. So that's been frustrating. So boo to you, Too Faced. And I know I could depot all this, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to leave it in here and try not to keep and not close, and just accept that this is what it means to be closed now, because it's too much of a hazard the other way. So I guess now is as good a time as any to talk to you guys about my channel. Let me make my announcement now, because I feel like whenever I think about talking about this, I don't articulate it properly and people take it wrong. Because I said something about this on my TTC channel and I was really vague, and people kept saying things about me quitting YouTube, and I was not at any point threatening or even playing around with the idea of quitting. What I was saying on that channel is that I have come to a place where I'm not sure how much of our TTC journey I want to share. It's not that I don't, and I already do very little in that regard. I already barely post videos there anymore. But I feel like whenever something happens, I can't bring myself to make videos and pretend like everything's okay. So then I'm gone for a while and everyone figures out that something's wrong. So I was torn, because I was feeling like, well, I feel obligated to share what's happening, even though in a lot of ways it feels at this point just too painful and really private. Like this is just our own personal suffering. And I know now that that's not the case. While I'm involved in it, it hurts too much to talk about. But then I get to a place where I realize that there are other women who would really benefit from hearing what happened. I know there are some people who are just nosy, and that's fine. That's human nature, and I can't fault people for that. But I really am doing it for the women who need to hear about what happens and what our story was. And I hope that there are women who find comfort in that. But to some other degree, this channel is difficult for me because I want to be able to make regular content. And I do admit that I have had sponsored things in the past, which I don't try to hide or anything, but I feel like there is something about that kind of content that feels stuffy and fake. And I don't enjoy it as much because I'll get a bullet point of things I need to talk about and it will stress me out. And I don't want to come off as not seeming genuine. I really have appreciated those opportunities, and I'm not saying I'd close the door to it again, but I don't want that to be my ultimate goal, and I don't want that to seem like that's my goal. I do also have affiliates, by the way, of companies that send me product for review, and I like that because I have the opportunity to be really honest, and I'm not being paid to talk about the products. I'm just being given the products to experience them, and that has been great. I get contacted regularly about things that just wouldn't make sense for me to try and cram into my everyday life because it's stuff that I wouldn't even necessarily buy on my own. But I can see how that's not content that people want constantly also. I think there should be a nice balance. But sometimes that is such an easy, I mean, I don't do Birchbox videos anymore, just for example. I don't do Birchbox anymore, but I do still receive it. It was just a nice, easy way to have a little bit of a cue for, you know, I'd get it in the mail and I'd think, oh, I'll film a Birchbox video, and boom, there's some content. And I think that might seem lazy to you guys, like, oh, I'm just going to open something that I got in the mail and talk about it. But that's just kind of what I was doing for a while. That was a way to make a video. That was something to do. And I do feel uncomfortable with the concept of always seeming like I'm doing hauls. Because I don't want it to look like that's all I ever do is shop. And I don't want it to look like, oh, look what I bought. Look what I have. Look what I bought. It feels really superficial, and it feels just as lazy as opening a Birchbox. But what I have found is that that is some of the stuff that people seem to like the most, because that's the stuff that gets viewed the most. So I feel like, well, when I do buy something, I guess why not make a video? And it is a little bit fun for me to look back on things from previous videos. I don't do it very often. Then there is a little something called keto. And this is where I start to feel like I have some decisions to make. I am not giving up on keto. I'm doing it right now, today. I've eaten keto today. Yesterday I did for 90% of the day. So I'm not going to say that I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not going to say I'm not talking about it anymore. I'm not going to stop watching other people's keto videos. But I don't want to be known for my diet. I don't want my channel to be a diet channel or about eating, because that makes me really uncomfortable. As you guys know from my previous videos on keto, I give a little bit of a speech just about every time that I'm sure you guys are sick of hearing, that you're more than what you eat, and you shouldn't obsess over your diet, and you should just treat yourself well, and that there is no one perfect diet for everyone. So if keto is not for you, then I'm glad if you have found something that works for you. But I have felt like my diet-related videos bring in the most negativity. But what I'm saying is, I just don't like the idea of putting out there sensitive personal information and decisions I make because they're what's right for me, that I intend to use to help others, and have that be an excuse for others to find me and attack me and say nasty things to me. I mean, I know to take everything with a grain of salt, and I know that all of that negativity doesn't matter, but you can hear 100 nice things and one awful thing, and that awful thing really stings. So it's hard because I don't want to stop helping people, but I'm also not doing so well with it lately that I feel like anything I have to say is all that helpful. That's just it. Everything's so black and white. Like, if I say I'm not sure about what my future is with these videos, people hear I don't want to make them anymore, and that's not what I'm saying. So I guess I just don't know what I want my channel to be. I'm not trying to be a brand. I'm not trying to be, in fact, I wish there was a way of like pausing or not accepting future subscriptions, because I feel like the bigger the channel gets, the more people that find it in whatever way, the more just nastiness can filter in. And sometimes I feel like, really, it took me an hour to film this video. It took me 20 minutes to get ready for it, an hour to film it, 3 or 4 hours to edit it. Then it took 45 minutes to upload it to YouTube. I had to fill in all the content information. And somebody is going to be mean or rude after all of that. It just feels like, oh, forget it then, you know? So I guess I just want you to know that when I'm in a time like this where I'm sort of, it's like my groundhog moment where I'm trying to come out of my little hole in the ground and see if I see my shadow. It's easy to just make content that is easy, and but it kind of draws me out. It kind of makes me feel encouraged to keep going. So, you know, if there are certain things or if there are certain types of videos that you would prefer to see, I would love to keep making them. I can't lie and say I'm not influenced by the numbers. And if there are certain things that just don't interest you, I don't want to keep making it, because that's a waste of my time and yours if you even watch it. So I'm in a weird place right now because I feel like, I'm not saying I feel like I have to define my channel, but at this point I'm nervous about coming across like all I do is shop and all I do is hauls and all I do is have subscription services. I want to feel like I can have substance to my channel. And oh gosh, I have not put any more makeup on in like 10 minutes. Just for example, my friend Chelsea, I will link her channel below also. I love when she makes videos. I could sit and listen to her read a dictionary. I just adore her. And there's something about her presence that I find very relaxing and calming and interesting, and and no, I don't eat the same foods she does, but I'll watch her make pudding in a crock pot, whatever it is, Instant Pot. I don't care. I love her and I will support her and watch anything she makes. So I know there are some of you who feel that way, or some of you who have been with me for so long now that you will watch just about anything, and I appreciate that. I really do. But I guess I'm sort of at a crossroads where I don't know how much more or less I want to discuss our future and all our failure with TTC, or how much or what exactly I want to talk about when it comes to other things. I'm not a beauty channel. Yes, I do my makeup. I talk about makeup sometimes, but I'm not going to be doing soft focus, intense lighting. I'm not going to have a camera crew or someone else to edit my videos. I'm not going to be going to beauty conventions. I just don't see that being something that I do. So sometimes I'm like, you can find that elsewhere. Why would you want to watch me do it? I guess. I don't know. That's why I'm kind of in this weird place. But I know a lot of that comes from just not feeling well and having some struggles with my mental health as a result of what we've just been through. So I do think that it would be nice to include Mike a little bit more. I know that a lot of you enjoy his company just like I do, and I think that will help kind of bring me out of my shell a little. And I do plan on still doing our anniversary tag, so if you have questions for that, you can post those below. But like I said before, which was in one of my recent thrift hauls, I want to keep it really light, just sort of fun questions. I think it should be something kind of happy and celebratory because it is for our 10-year anniversary. But I think I'll do some more of that kind of stuff to sort of help me along. And I do still want to make YouTube videos, because despite how much time it takes and effort it takes to make these crappy videos, because yes, even with my crappy editing, it takes a lot of time and effort on my part. I mean, I'm not trying super hard, but I'm trying. So So I guess I just wanted to talk about that with you guys. I'm just having a hard time being part of the world lately, and I'm still not ready for Facebook or most of Instagram. I have a 10 swipe rule now on social media, unless I want to look at specific accounts or specific people. I'm only allowed to swipe 10 times, and half the time I see something before that makes me sad, so I have to just close it. I am obsessed, however, on Instagram with looking at accounts of people who have pet squirrels. But anyway, I guess I should shut this off so I can actually get ready. I just wanted to say thank you and touch base with you and just talk to you because it's been a while. And I think the more of this I do, the more comfortable I'll feel coming out of my element, getting out from underneath the blankets, and just being me again. Because for some reason I really let myself get knocked down. As much as I feel like I'm okay, as much as I feel like I'm fine, it takes a little bit for me to realize just how far gone I am from who I am. And I think it's okay. I think it has to be done in its own time. And I'm grateful to have the kind of lifestyle I do where I have the time and the ability to do that. So thank you guys. I will be talking to you very soon.